welcome everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Nightfire with two E's. Today, behind the headset, we are interviewing F3 Formula 3, one of the top squads in the VRML right now. Thank you all for stopping in, hanging out, and taking the time to be interviewed to give us a little better insight into who you are as players and all that kind of stuff. And I'll start down at the end, and you can kind of introduce yourselves, who you are on the team, maybe what you do, and we'll get into some questions about you guys as a squad. So, Bot, why don't we start with you at the end there?
I'm Bot, and I'm pretty much just the most yo watch this type of player.
Yo, what's up? I'm Bada, and I'm F3's professional bomb frag.
What's up? I'm Angel. I'm the honorary captain and IGL for Formula 3. I kind of just keep these guys in check, and they kind of keep me in check sometimes too. So, yeah.
I'm Elevate. I kind of just try to shoot the bad guys. Sometimes it works.
Yo, I'm On Dog. I'm the only sane person on F3.
Factual.
I'm Tryhard Bard. I'm the support on the team, the support player.
Excellent. So you guys have been competing at the top of the VRML now for, I would say, a couple of weeks. And Angel, I want to direct this at you first, and then we kind of go down to the team. How has it felt to be a top team in the VRML? What has that been like for you now after being here for a few weeks?
So, it's been special. We've gotten a lot of hate in the past. We've had a lot of stuff that we had to recover from. As you can tell, it's definitely a whole entire new roster from what people used to know. But as of right now, we're still competing. We're still like working our way up to just kind of like work around and fix those mistakes that our past had. And we're just trying to get better.
I like that. And then we'll go down from starting with Bot. How does it feel, again, competing on a top team like Formula 3?
To be honest, I don't really realize it that much, I'd say it's like, competing is competing, no matter what level you're at. Obviously, skill makes a big difference in competing, but as long as you're competing, go for it.
I'd say it's quite fun. It's like it feels like a added pressure. It's just, I don't know. It's way more fun when you compare at the top.
I don't know. I was with Bandit for a bit. We were kind of in the master conversation, and then it disbanded. So I guess it feels good to be back in master.
I don't like pub stomping, and having a real challenge actually makes this game fun for me. So it's really nice being up in the top and being able to get squashed and have good back and forths.
Awesome. Try hard.
I'll say the same thing as On Dog. I like a challenge and stuff. And what was it again? Sometimes comp does get boring, especially when you play on top teams like Affinity. This is technically my first season in VRML. I played for a bit for preseason for Infinity, so it's kind of new to VRML.
How many of you are from the original roster? Angel, Vile, and Vile. And then how new are you? Would you guys how new is Bot, Elevate, On Dog, Tryhard? How new are you guys to the roster?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
I think I've been here like maybe 2 months now.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I got off a cooldown on Monday, and it was about a month.
Okay.
I got here like a little bit before On Dog, like maybe like a month and 2 weeks.
On F3, yeah, maybe like a week before On Dog joined.
Okay, so I mean, Angel, leading. How does it feel how have you gotten to this point? How have you recruited these players? What have you been looking for? What's been the process to get your team up to where you have a competitive roster?
So, I was I joined the team when VRML preseason was kind of just starting, and then just things fell off with the old roster. People were leaving, people stopped playing, just whatever it is. And I ended up having to take it over. But when I took it over, when I was looking for people, it was mainly just like, do I know them? Have I met them in Breacher's matchmaking? Or this person left this top tier team, maybe he's looking for a new one. I kind of just look out for all that when it comes to like picking up guys like these.
Okay, awesome. And on Dog, I'll direct this one specifically to you, specifically because you are the author of the Taurus Bible, and I want to get into everyone's sort of favorite guns, what guns they prefer, what their favorite maps are, that kind of thing. But what inspired that? Was it the love of the Taurus? How did we get from a simple document to now what I think is a Discord with over 100+ people?
Well, originally I just really like the Taurus. It's a really reliable gun, and you should try it. But lots of people struggle with the gun because it's not an easy gun, and it's way easier to just pick a Spectral and just tap them twice. But the Taurus just has so much you can do with it that the Spectral and Cyclone could only wish they could do. And as for the Discord part, I couldn't really tell you. I got a message with a Discord invite, and they're like, "Hey, we made a religion," and it had like 40 people in it. Oh, okay. So yeah, if you want to join it, it's in the Taurus Bible too. But yeah,
I think we call these in other spheres maybe even a cult around the Taurus.
I think cult is probably a good word for it. It's probably a cult. But yeah, favorite guns, the Taurus and the Marui. Super consistent guns if you get good with them.
All right, I'll come back to you on the Marui because that's, I think, maybe a more recent decision. But Bot, let's go down the line. Your favorite gun to utilize. Maybe let's do that kind of combo pistol and then otherwise.
Of course, favorite pistol, Taurus, and favorite rifle would probably be the Vezin.
Why the Taurus?
I don't know. I just have never really been a fan of the Spectral. I don't know. I just picked up the Taurus one day, and I was like, wow, this feels great, and pretty consistent with it. And honestly, I didn't even know who Ondog was for a while.
Are you do you one hand the Taurus, or you put both hands on the gun?
No, I put both hands on the gun. I think Angel's ridiculous and kind of crazy for that, but
I have reasons.
Okay. All right, Vile Dot, what's your favorite combo?
Well, pistols, it's a mix of either Taurus or Spectral. I can use both, but usually it's a Spectral since it's cheaper, and rifle is just the Vezin because it's meta.
Yep. Angel?
So I'm the weirdo that you probably seen one-handing it, the Taurus. That's definitely my favorite pistol. Reason why I one-hand it, I couldn't really tell you. I kind of blame it on the fact that they changed the recoil for a while ago, and one-handing it gives it the same kind of recoil. So that's why. And ever since, I've always one-handed it. So yeah. As for rifle, Ondog's been kind of persuading me with the Marui, but I use I use both. Depends on what I'm kind of doing. Like if I'm going for a lot of wall banks, I'll do Marui. If I'm going long range, I'll do Marui. But close range, because of the fire rate, I'll do the Vezin.
Okay. Elevate?
I used to main Cyclone for pistol, but now it's just Spectral because they kind of made the Cyclone worse.
Right.
But yeah, Spectral and then probably Vezin. I never tried Marui. I tried it one time and the fire rate was so slow, and I kind of got bored, so I used Vezin.
Typical
Ondog,
Vezin gameplay.
You said Taurus and Marui. Why the Marui in particular? Is that a recent change? Is that a recent pickup with a new update?
So yeah, so when the last Marui change happened, or I guess there might have been the one before that. Yeah, the one before that where the recoil went down like an additional 40%. The Marui has like so much going for it that I feel most of the time, at least, I like to use it. Now I'll use the Vezin rarely if it's like I know I need to like swing a lot, but mainly the Marui is just, it's so consistent because you can hold down the trigger and you can laser it. I legit will hold down a door and just unload a whole magazine and have people run into it because I can hold it on there. And they're so used to the Vezin being like, you shoot 5 bullets and then you have to stop or else the gun goes like this.
Yeah.
Murray doesn't do that. And then the wall bangs, 80 damage headshots are wild. You can kill really, really fast through walls. So if, like Angel was saying, if like we're on downstairs factory you can just line up on the boxes and you can just spray and kill people so easily. And it always one-shots to the head. So, you know, if you play to the advantage of the Marui, it's such a powerful weapon. So much so that since everyone else uses the Vezin, I can just pick up a Marui and play the way that I like the Marui wants to be played. And it just works. And I always get like a ton of kills because of it.
Tryhard, what's your favorite combo?
I used to like the Cyclone, but I come soon to realize that it's not a good clutch weapon at all. So I had to switch to Spectral, and for rifle, I use a Vezin.
Is there anyone that has any? I mean, let's talk mid game because it's always kind of an interesting point for me. You know, is there anyone that I guess we have a lot of Taurus users? So is that kind of the default where you go to with the Taurus, or do we have a shotgun in play with anyone here? Ondog, what are your thoughts there?
I use SMGs more than most. Ever since the change to where if you're on a losing streak, you will get money, I found that picking up an SMG on or counter buying with an SMG is really powerful. You have to be good with it, and it's really risky. But like the Viper is actually kind of slept on. You need to make sure you can get a rifle next round. You don't want to just, you know, get into a cycle of buying it and then having to buy it again and then having to buy it again. But if you manage your economy right, I mean, I've gotten aces on Vezin rounds with the Viper, you know, just going crazy with it just because they're pretty good. You just got to manage your economy with them.
Okay, interesting. Any other kind of counter thoughts to that on the mid game, bot, Vile? Anyone that likes to do anything with the SMGs, or you all just kind of stick with your pistols and get to the rifles?
So, the shotguns never work for me. I don't know what it is or what I'm doing. I always listen to the tips, like, oh, aim for the chest with a kunai. It doesn't matter. I'll be point blank range, have it stuffed into the chest, and I only do maybe like 2 damage. So I personally just stick to pistols and just wait until I can get a rifle.
I like the Kadio. Like it's fun. Yeah, like it's fun. You know, 12 bullets, semi-automatic, one-shot headshot. I mean, what's there not to love?
I think the argument that me and Phil have had is that it is maybe a rifle that or a weapon that can exceed only at the higher levels because it is a gun that does require headshots. I mean, is there any you know, you guys are all good shots. You know, you have the core mechanics pretty well in hand. You know, is there any validity to you guys practicing a Kadio and using that?
I mean, kinda. I used it last night. It was fun. So
yeah. So I haven't started doing this yet, but I plan on it. When we tend to run into like teams that are a little bit worse than us in scrims, and it kind of just ruins our practice. So I'm probably going to start getting us use Kadios to just practice first shot accuracy, and just do all that.
Interesting. And let's kind of talk about that a little bit too. You know, what is your practice schedule? Like, how often are you guys getting into scrims, and what are you sort of focusing on when you do go into those scrims? And Angel, as a captain, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so I try my best to get us a scrim every day. We typically scrim like anywhere between 8 to 10 start times, Eastern time. I try my best to do it every day, but sometimes things come up. Some of our players can't make it, but that's about it. I don't know.
What do you guys sort of? Is there any like particular focus on when you're are you doing? Do you guys come in with like plays and stuff that you want to practice?
Yeah. So obviously
You don't have to tell me what they are.
Yeah.
don't give anything away.
Obviously, we have a lot of newer people to the team, so the main goal right now when it comes to our scrims is just working on chemistry, making sure that we're all in the same boat, and just, you know, getting us in sync a little bit more than usual.
No, it's absolutely correct. Especially since, you know, like half the team is completely new, especially me.
What are your thoughts on the map pool? You know, there is that new map that's been teased, that's in the works. You know, what do we feel about the current maps, is there enough diversity there, or are they all kind of one-sided? From a high tier team, I need to know so that I can report back on stream like I'm sounding smart and being like, top tier teams have reported to me that these maps are sided this way. What are your thoughts on I guess the 4 maps that we have in the rotation right now?
Yeah. So when it comes to like defense side of maps, it's just about all of them. It really depends on like how your team excels. If you're more of an aggressive team, obviously you can definitely excel on attacking on any map. But as for like just basics, I like to say that Hideout is the only map that's like attacker sided. You'll tend to find that because of the home and away system, if whoever picks side first, if they pick defense, then you'll find the away team picking Hideout almost all the time, just because you excel a little bit more on attack for that map. As for every other map, they're pretty defense sided, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that there's definitely more that are defensive sided than others. Like I think Factory is like a 55-45 kind of deal, or like a 60. But then like you got like Ship. All my homies hate Ship, bro. It's 90% defense, 10% offense. It's horrible.
Ship, bad. The new map though, I'm kind of excited to see how that is. I've seen some talk. People are hoping, since it's a snowy map, obviously, some people are like hoping and talking about maybe like some of the roof is like open and there's snow like dripping in. I don't know.
Coming from one team to the next, what is that process like? I see it happening a lot. Some teams are going through this right now, so it's not a unique experience. What maybe recommendations, tips? How do you get through to another team?
To be honest, I don't really have any tips because pretty much F3 is my first team. But I mean, I guess like as preseason was ending, finals were going on. Me and Elevate were actually on a team because we know each other from Echo. But yeah, we were on a team. Obviously, didn't really work out, I guess. And my first like actual team is F3. So,
all right, OnDog, any tips?
Make connections even if you are not, looking for another team. Don't have any enemies. Don't make your reputation bad. Don't be stupid about it. You never know. I mean,
yep.
I never want to leave your team, and you should always have that mentality. But don't burn bridges. Always have friends, and play in public. Be nice, and you'll find a team pretty quick if you're leaving a team.
And don't beg. Please don't beg.
Yeah, don't beg.
Yeah.
If people know you, they're gonna want you on their teams.
I would say to get good, like in your individual skill and stuff, and make connections with high tier teams, and when they have a free spot, ask for a tryout. Don't just go to like LFT or anything. Just say, "Oh, does anybody want me to try out for the team or whatever?" Just go up to the captain of a high tier team. Just ask him, "Hey, can I try out for this team?"
Well, I guess there's multiple methods, which is the beauty of it, right? There's multiple ways to get into VRML and to continue to play if your team has disbanded. Because I hate to break it to you all that are tuning in right now, it's happening, and it's going to happen for the next couple of weeks as we get into the end of this season when roster locks and no one can swap anyone out of those rosters. Some teams will go as the season ends, and that's fine. It's to be expected, but you can always regrow and rebrand and recreate into a new team like we've seen here today.
Yeah, I'm Angel. I'm the captain at F3.
I'm Bot. I'm the biggest you'll watch this type of player.
I'm Elevate. I kind of just try to shoot people.
I'm OnDog. I'm not going to say the same thing I did last time.
Ooh.
You can go now.
Oh, Muppet. I'm Bada, and I'm F3's emo person. So.
Yep.
Awesome. We were talking a bit offline, but there is a bit of a background between at least some of you guys with VRML, just as an organization. You know, I think we can start with you, Angel, and then who else has experience, I suppose, playing in the VRML league. Everyone but Ondog, that's in here. Okay, all right. Well, let's say that's great. That's a good mix. I love to see that.
I got a lot of VR experience, all right.
Okay. Well, we can get more into that for sure. But we'll start with Angel in the VRML. You know, how did you get started in the VRML? What's your sort of background history, and that just kind of fill me in a little bit. You know.
Yeah, so I got my Quest 2, my first VR headset, I think 2022 sometime.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly. That was around season 4 of Echo VRML, and that's kind of just where I started. Just been playing Echo since then, and since the shutdown, I wanted a new game to go into, so I chose Breachers, and here I am.
Awesome. Bot?
I guess whenever the Quest 1 came out, honestly I don't remember now, but picked up Echo on there, started, played on there. My teammates, were graceful enough to actually get me a Quest 2 because my Quest 1 had broke, and they wanted to see me keep competing and whatnot. Then, when Echo died, I really didn't know, I was like, this might be it. I might just put down my headset forever. And then old teammate Jake that used to be here but left, he actually introduced me to Breachers. And at first I was like, okay, I've never played a VR shooter. I don't know how this would go. Might not get into it, but I ended up falling in love with it. So, and then now I'm here. So
awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. Echo Arena. I got my first VR headset. It was a Quest 1 that I stole from my sister in 2019. COVID happened. I didn't take the headset off my face, grinded Echo, grinded all the way to like high diamond master Echo, and then the game died. Transferred to Breachers. My friend Ripred kind of introduced me to this game, and we were on a team for a bit. You know Ripred. You've met Ripred multiple times.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then I got to Breachers.
And then Wild Dots. Your sort of history, I suppose, with VRML. When did that start?
So originally I got my first headset back in 2017 when Pavlov VRML season 1 started, but I wasn't around competitive. But I started playing competitively in 2019 season 1 of Contractors, and then they stopped mid season 2, moved on to other games, Contractors onward, then just Breachers because Kirby Dog from Recton BCO, he said, hey man, Gun Raiders, which is the game I used to play. He said, hey, Gun Raiders kind of dead. You want to try out Breachers? I said, oh yeah, sure, one releases. Then yeah.
Awesome. And then Ondog, what's your history with VR? How long have you been in the space?
So I got my Quest, of course, in 2019. I got it as soon as it came out because I loved VR as a kid, or at least the concept of it. I was broke. Then I had a job. It was crazy. I played a lot of Rec Room. I'm like a professional builder for it. And I probably got like 7,000 hours in VR, and I love Siege. I played that as a kid a lot, and as an adult too. And I saw this game and I was like, oh, that's crazy, and I started playing it, and it just came naturally.
Awesome. And so anyone feel free to answer this, but what do you want to see different in the game? Because you have a platform here to maybe speak to the devs, if it hasn't already been said, I suppose. But what are some things that you would like to see changed? I think some recommendations, just as examples, have been like a 200 or 300 credit increase on the Vezin to make it just a little bit more expensive, or maybe reducing the price of some other rifles to make them more viable, like the Cadillo, price reductions. Is there anything that you guys really feel needs to be changed? Because I want to get the perspective from a top team. What do you want to see different?
Be real. Your reel is horrible.
Yeah, the Oro is absolutely horrendous for the price that it is right now.
It's the worst gun in the game. It's literally the Viper, but with more recoil and the same damage, pretty much. It's and it has less fire rate. It sucks. It's so bad.
I just got a skin for it too, just because it looked cool. But I'm never
Well,
gonna
that's
use
the
it.
worst part. All those
Yeah.
skins for the Ariel are like actually awesome, and then the gun itself is like there's no reason to ever use it. It feels horrible to use, and the bots always buy it with no attachment.
So then, what do you think needs to be changed to it? An increase in damage, a lower price point? You know, is it a viable weapon if it's more in the SMG price range, or still not?
No, it's
So,
literally the Viper.
Honestly, I think if it were to get changed, it definitely needs some damage increase. If it wants like any competition to be better than just an SMG buy, it, like it it's in the rifle category. It does the same amount of damage as like most of the SMGs. Its fire rate's terrible. It needs some sort of buff, whether it's like damage, recoil, penetration, just whatever it is. It just needs a buff. And then also they should make the Taurus cost less. That's just me.
$100.
Of course. Any other changes? Anyone else have anything they want to see different?
I got one. I got one for the Ariel, and it's a hot take. So get this. I think the Ariel should be able to one shot at 5 meters or somewhere around that range.
Ooh. In the
Because
head, of
it's
course.
really in the head, yeah. So look, it's got like the same damage. It's got the same fire rate as the Vezin, which is actually pretty slow in comparison to like SMGs, which are like in the 800s and 900s. So it's got like a 600. The Vezin is good for having its adaptability, right? And the reason you buy a rifle is so you can have that one-shot potential. That's like that entire category, except for the Ariel. So if the Ariel, like if you played close with it, I think it might be like something you'd be like, okay, I will half buy round 2, and then next round I'll do that, or I'll pick up a gun with it. I think that should happen. I mean, it'd still not be the best, just because it'd be like shotgun range, but no other gun really fills that niche, and it's a rifle that costs 2,200.
And
that's my hot take.
It's like 3 bullets to the head, right?
It's 2. It's 2.
Oh.
But I mean, it's so slow. It's the Vezin with a 2-shot headshot. That's horrible.
I mean, as a sort of tease, we may actually be interviewing some of the devs too, leading into the end of the season. So I may be able to actually feed some of this data directly into that interview. So this is the feedback you got to think about. Is there anyone else, Bot, Elevate, Vialdot, you guys have anything you want to see changed?
Yeah, I think and no one really talks about this, but in Siege, how there's like ACOG sights and like different like sights on the gun. I feel like that'd be pretty cool to see in VR and like in breachers, other than just the 2 red dot and hollow.
There's a lot of space to grow this game, I suppose, when you think about it. And I guess just even putting in 2 attachments, 2 new scopes is one way that I haven't heard the oral mentioned in any of these interviews, and we haven't talked attachments. So these are 2 new recommendations coming in from you guys, which I do love to see.
I think instead of like a sight, we've got 1 grip. I think we should get 2. I think they should do different things. Especially when firing after a certain amount of time, like with the Vezin, you'll notice your recoil goes left and right. I think we should get like instead of our grip we have now, get another one and it reduces that, and then have another one where it reduces horizontal or vertical recoil. So
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Angled grip and front grip, just like every other. I do want to say something that I don't know. I haven't seen many people talk about it. I mean, I've seen new people complain about it, but it's the cloaking actually. I think I liked where they went with it, where they made it like you're less visible, but I think they went a little too far. And there's been several scenarios if like you stand still and you're in certain spots, you're practically invisible. So,
interesting.
I get the idea of it and where they're going, and they made it more viable. I think they went a little too far with it.
and we noticed like you see right through them, like when you're completely sitting still, which a lot of people don't know. If you sit still with the cloaking device, you go completely invisible.
Everyone was saying that before, is like the whole like, oh, if you stand still, you're more invisible. I always thought it was a myth. Like I've been playing since alpha, and I never like tested it to see. But like when we actually tested it, when we were teaching his friend how to play, I noticed it. And I was like, wait, what the heck? And I mean, I'm on PC VR, so like my graphics are able to pick it up a little bit easier. But I can only imagine like a standalone Quest 2 that's seeing a cloak that's standing still across the map. They're not going to be able
Hiding
to
in a
anything.
bush.
Yeah.
Hiding in the bush.
Yeah.
We should. That's a new content idea right there. Is MythBusters, Breachers style.
Oh yeah.
Is there any other? What other myths do we have that need to be crunched? That need to be broken out there, I suppose. But probably can't be that many use cases for that kind of idea. But
I mean, like there's like the basic one where
Were
like
we
a lot of
recording?
people when they start, they're like they don't know you can cover the flashbang.
Oh yeah.
oh,
That's
with
a
like
myth.
Your hand. If you put
Yeah,
your
you
hand
put
in
your
front of
hand
your
over it.
face, I don't think any of us use
are
it.
people
I mean,
doing that? I've never seen that in a league. I don't think I've seen anyone block a flash in a league match.
It's like a
Odd Dog, you've
habit.
done it.
Oh, I mean, it happens naturally because of how I hold my gun. I'm like the weird guy who holds the gun
yeah.
out like this, so I've
Okay.
always got it like this, so my hand
Yeah,
gets
my
like
hands
blocks
are
it.
too
So when
close.
so even when your hand's on the gun, it's blocking the flash.
I think as long as your hand is like in front of your eyesight and
Mhm.
where the flash is, it doesn't.
Oh,
You
But
can just
I've been
you
playing
can block
Valorant,
it.
and I've always been in the habit of just like flicking away and turning away from the flash, and then
interesting. Okay, well, hey, yeah, then maybe there's that's at least a YouTube short that I could make. Okay, or we could bust
Yeah.
both of those myths. Thanks for the recommendation. That's not why I'm here to interview you guys,
Right.
but I do appreciate it. It's good. Good ideas. It's good. It's to the point that I suppose we need to get more insight into the deeper depths of this game, and you would be the players that would know about it the most because you guys have put in a lot of time. Not to hour shame you or anything, but if you do want to tell me, how many hours have you guys put into the game of Breachers? If you can go to your, if you can dig those metrics up,
Pulling
I'm
it up right
curious.
now.
I'm sure a lot of people are curious to know. You could also just tell us your level that you have in game. That's also an indicator. And if you don't want to share the hours because it is far too many, I understand that. I have, I think, over 200 or 300 hours in the Spectate client right now. So I'm deep in the meat myself, so to speak. But
It's weird because a lot of us are from Alpha too, so we probably
Yeah.
got like double the hours, or at least a third of them. So, I guess since I'm talking first, I got like 700 hours in the game so far. Well, that's with Alpha.
Yeah, without.
yeah.
And like 100 in this last update, and I'm level like gold 37.
Okay, that's pretty respectable.
Mine right now, I'm about to break 800 hours. Alpha probably got 100 in there. So, yeah. And then as for my level, I'm like gold 35. I haven't really been focusing on like leveling up that much lately.
Do scrims count towards that experience?
Yeah. I think you get less for private matches.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so too. I've dropped like 20 kills and gotten like a
Mhm.
quarter of the EXP bar, which normally it's like half.
Mhm.
Okay. Bot, do you want to share?
Yeah, I'm only the silver 28, so
okay.
I only get on for scrims and matches.
Yeah, makes sense. Elevate.
I just checked. I think I broke 850, and I didn't play alpha, and that's on both Steam and Oculus. And then I'm not a high level. I'm like maybe silver 15 because I don't play pubs.
Watch out for be careful out there. If you're in the pubs, the levels may not mean everything. Okay, it's deceptive. And then last but not least, Vile, where are you at?
With standalone and PC combined, I have 700 hours. Yeah, 760.
Wow. So collectively, we're well over 2,000 or 3,000 hours as a team invested into the game of Breachers. But that's way before there's been leagues and all of that stuff. So that
Right.
just comes from an enjoyment of the game, I suppose, which is what I'm getting here from you guys today. At the core of it, you like to play the game and play competitively, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love this game.
What is your favorite team to compete against, and what is your favorite team to watch?
Ooh. I guess I'll start. My favorite team to watch personally is Acer. Uh, they're definitely one of the tougher teams that we've gone up against lately.
Yeah.
They outgun us every time. Their aim is just pretty unreal. But to play against, I'd have to say it's between like Infinity or Aspect. Those are almost always like close matches, and it's always fun playing against them just because all of these teams we've been around for a while, and it's nice.
Yeah. Bot?
Obviously, watching wise, Acer, they're really good attacking team, very aggressive. It's fun to watch. And then playing, I'd say Acer as well, because I learn a lot about myself as a player and our team as players together. Like Angel was saying, they outgun us a lot, so it's good to, take stuff from their scrims. And, we played them twice this season, lost both times, but, we've bounced back from it.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to do it and do it as much as we can, learn, and keep going.
See, the team I like playing against is actually Wicked. I like
Okay.
playing against Wicked. I'm friends with a couple players on Wicked, and I feel like every time we play them, it's kind of close. And I like playing against Sleepy Canut because it's pretty fun to play against. And then, team I like watching, was it Zenith? I think it was an old team. I think it was
Oh,
Zenith
yeah,
with
Zenith
Lynx
and
on
PC.
it. That team was
Yeah.
really fun to watch, and I
Mhm.
watched them a lot when I was like, kind of before I joined F3.
Awesome. On dog?
Okay, I got a double whammy for you. The team I like to play against and watch is the older guys / Aspect. Reason being, when we play, it's usually pretty close, and I still haven't lost to them. So I'm like, oh yeah, they're pretty good. And then I like to watch them because then they like beat the best teams in the game and tie them, and it's like, where was that? Where did
Yeah.
that come from?
Yeah.
They go crazy against like every team. It's awesome to watch. And then when I play them, I don't lose. So.
All right, and then Vildot?
To watch, I'd say it's definitely Wicked, since I used to be on Wicked and I got kicked, so I hold a grudge. So I like whenever I beat them. And to watch, I definitely say it's a Aspect because, as Ondog said, they beat all these top teams. Like, it's fun to study what they do, like how they do and all that.
Yeah, good research. All right, well, that is all I have for you guys this afternoon. You've spent plenty of your time answering my miscellaneous questions, and I do appreciate that. Thank you all for again stopping by and doing this. Is there any sort of final shout-outs any of you want to make? Any plugs you have? We can start with Angel and kind of go down the list if you have anything you want to promote or anything like that.
Yeah, shout out to Helgabot. That thing has helped us with our scheduling. It's sponsored by VRML. You get your first month free. It's honestly such a game changer when it comes to scheduling. So, and definitely check it out. At least try the free month.
Yeah. Yeah, that's certainly a good note. It's awesome to see that you guys are using it and having a success with it. And I mean, I know that when it was shown to me as like a tool, I instantly saw the value and what this could provide as, especially a team captain. And that's where you're coming from, right, Angel?
Yeah.
Awesome. Anyone else? Any other shout outs? Bot, Vildot?
Can I plug my TikTok?
Yeah, go ahead, Elevate.
Just elevate_dash on TikTok. Elevate dash.
All right.
Do you even follow me?
I got a plug. Yeah, go ahead, Bot.
I'd say, as cringe as it is, shout out to Angel. He's done an amazing job with, rebuilding the F3 name and, being a captain and getting everything set up, keeping us on track as players. So, shout out to Angel.
Nice. On dog?
Yeah, shout out to Angel and the Taurus Bible.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
do the Taurus Bible, but I don't want to not praise Angel.
All right. And then Valdot, anything else? Anything you want to promote? Anything?
Shout out to Pepsi, Save Some,
Yep.
Peppa Pig, and
All the
Mad.
OGs.
Like, I love them. They're the best players I've ever met in my life.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I was afraid quotes around that. Pepsi's a player name. We're not shouting out the brand
Yeah,
Pepsi.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll let you
Pepsi.
know, YouTube. It's not. We're not shouting out. We're not giving Pepsi any promotion here. Not for free, at least. They can come and sponsor the VRML. That'll be next year. That'll be next year. Okay.
Until then, Coke is better.
Okay, well, now I'm not going to get the Pepsi sponsorship for the VRML hot dog.
It's an until
thanks a
then.
lot.
Until
Thanks a
then.
lot.
Until
Thanks a
then.
lot. All right.
Exclaim.gg.
One more shout out. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Check out exclaim.gg/store/F3. We got amazing merch. Definitely check it out. It's amazing quality. Yeah, it's amazing.
Awesome.
Just
Yeah, the
get it.
Exclaim store. Are you also a partner on that as well through
Yeah.
the VRML? Awesome. Yeah, I
Mhm.
think you guys get cheaper shirts too through that whole
Yeah.
system. So it ultimately is a really cool tool that if you are a new team and you do want to do something like make your own merch, like you've seen here, I'm wearing VRML jerseys and. It's all, it's got the names on the back. It's awesome. There's different brand styles. You can make your own and sell it and become an affiliate with the league if you are a team. And so, yeah, do go check that out. And a shout out to you guys. We'll have to make sure to put that link in the description when we do that announcement too, so that you guys can get a little extra press on that F3 store because that's awesome to hear. I love to see more teams doing that.